Good morning, one and all, from a very snowy Toronto. I've woken up to not be seeing the grass, but hey ho, you'll be able to see the grass at North London. The match is match day. Welcome to Cockerel Doodle Morning Spurs show, and I have three very good guests and one very special one making her debut today. So I'm going to say hello to Ash first. Ash, how are you? And welcome to Tottenham on Tour.
Thanks, Brian. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so excited for today's game and for this debut.
Fantastic. And another one, AD. We've got the Queen in the house. How are you, Eddie?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you very much for inviting me on as well, Brian. It's a pleasure being here and pleasure being with Ash as well and my lovely Jose up there up next to me. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to the show. Come on, let's get it on.
Very well said, Eddie. You're very alert today. I'm still having my morning coffee.
Yeah,
Jose, how are you, sir? Welcome back to the channel.
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you. I've not even had a sip of my coffee either yet, Brian. I did make it, but I haven't had a sip yet. But yeah, no, all good. Looking forward to the show and looking forward to what you and these two fine ladies have to say.
Yeah. So I haven't even had a sip of my coffee yet. It's the best way I do it. So it's ready 5 minutes before, so it's nice and warm the whole show. So it's all good. Let's just say hello to everyone in the chat. There's 24 of us in. Good, good morning, Alex. Steak, my friend. I had it for breakfast yesterday. I had steak for breakfast yesterday.
wow.
Living the good life. Fran, good morning, sir. I'm late, madam. Sorry, Colin Cross. Good morning, sir. Ren, good morning. Mark is here. John is here. Mr. Flower Brother, I hope you're good. We have Toxic in the house. We have big up to yourself, my brother. Big up my Swedish brother. Tony Rodriguez is in the house. And Jeffrey is in the house. Good afternoon, morning to you, Jeff. Okay, start the show. Contract announced yesterday. Fraser Forster has signed an extension. I have quite a bit to say on this, but as always, ladies first. Ash, how are you feeling about Fraser Forster's new contract?
Honestly, I'm not a big fan in the sense that, it smacks of the sort of signing we would have made a year or two or three ago under Levy. He's just saving money. But if you think about it, I like to think about it in terms of the cup tournaments, right? The second goalkeeper plays in the cups. Now, say we reach an FA Cup final and Vicario gets injured. Can we trust, or a semi final, can we trust someone like Fraser Foster in goal and think that we're going to win that game? I just feel like it's unambitious of us to sign him, but thankfully it's just for 1 year. So hopefully that means that in a year or so we'll look for somebody better as a second choice goalkeeper.
I have to say, Mark, it is true. It is incredibly true. This isn't a piss take. He has signed a contract. Eddie, where are you on this?
Yeah, I'm with Ash. The club always do this sort of thing, and it's getting on my nerves, right? Because the guy, we've seen what he can do and his limitations, especially in that game against Fulham at the penalty stage. He just flopped on the floor, didn't even make an effort to take the ball. So, and it must be a really dig in the teeth to the other two guys below him. You know, Brandon Austin has been with us for I don't know how long, but it's a long time. And then you've got Alfie Whiteman, who's just not going to make it. But the thing is, why don't we just go out and sign a new goalie in January and make a statement that we're serious about our backups to our first team squad? Instead, we give him another year extension. It doesn't make any sense to me. I think that a half decent goalie, I'd say, yeah, okay, give him a year, just in case. But we can sign somebody. We're going on the cheap again, aren't we?
I'm going to speak after I've heard Jose. Let's soak it all in. I can see what people are saying. Jose, how are you feeling about this?
When I saw it come out yesterday, I thought, as long as what Mark said, I thought it was a wind-up. I really did. But then more and more people started saying, I thought, okay, there's no smoke without fire, so there must be something in this. And then I looked, and yeah, it was the case. To me, it just goes to show that the goalkeepers that we have at the club are just not good enough. If he's getting another contract, it shows that the two youngsters that we've got there are not good enough. Lloris is going to be going as well. But in all honesty, yeah, I'm not overwhelmed by it. But then if I look at the rest of the Premier League and look at number twos, there's a lot of clubs that haven't got decent number twos. We're not the only team. There's a lot of clubs that haven't got decent number twos. That doesn't make an excuse. It just goes to show, yeah, to me, we've put an invested time and interest in the two young goalkeepers, in Whiteman and Austin. And obviously, they're clearly not good enough if they've given Forster a further year. I would like to think that we would have had succession planning and that we knew this a year ago, that we knew that Forster was our keeper and that we might need to make changes. But it appears that we may be, and I'm not sure, but we might be prioritising other areas. And that's why they've gone down this route with him.
Yeah, well, a couple of things I just need to say. First of all, mind up. What James said is a personal joke between me and him, which is actually quite well known, that I wanted Raya and went mad when we didn't get him. So it's James taking the piss at me. He wasn't being serious. So he's a very good friend of mine as well. So it's a personal joke. And then Adrian has sent in a super chat for you, Ash. Big up to you. Great to see Asia represented. Listen, I'll tell you now, when it comes, before I speak about Forster, should I say, I always do that. Ash has been a great supporter of this channel and many, many others. I speak to her regularly on Twitter, always in the chat. And then last Friday, I went on to Alan's show and I came on and I just saw this name, Ash. I was like, is that the same? And then we had a chat. And Tottenham on tour moved to bring in new people quicker than Daniel Levy. Spoke to her on Friday. Here she is on Thursday. It's wicked to have her. She knows her football. Ash, it's always good to have. You're making the rounds now on the new on YouTube, aren't you?
Oh my God, that's quite a build up, right?
No, it's great to see you coming on. But you've been a Spurs fan for a long time, have you?
Yeah, I've been a Spurs fan since childhood. It's just that I didn't get onto YouTube and stuff like that a lot because I just thought of myself as this lonely Spurs fan in India, because India doesn't have a lot of Spurs fans, and so I just watched my whole family supports Spurs. So like my brother and I would watch the matches together, and so that was enough for me. But after those go- terrible years under Conte and Jose and Nuno, I just needed a sense of community because I was feeling a little alienated from the club. So I think that's when I started going onto YouTube, and I've been watching VR Tottenham TV for very long, like say about 6-7 years. But that was the only channel I would be on. But
Yep.
now I've sort of started watching everything, and it's a little addictive. I hope I don't get fired from work. But
I have to say, we are on TV, as you know, I call them the mothership. They're the start of everything.
Yeah.
They have created such a great community, and the work they do is incredible. Me and Ellie know them very, very well. They are the most welcoming, amazing.
Lovely
Great
lad.
to have you. And talking about great to have you, obviously Ren is in the house, but my very, very close friend Craig is speaking here. Probably about everyone except me, because that word does not apply with me. But I'm going to get back to Stephen's in the house. Big up to you as well. My brother Amir, big up. Wise, big up to yourself as well. So let's get back to it. Fraser Forster. When I saw it, I did think this was some kind of joke. I was like, okay, whatever. Then I look at it. There's two ways I'm looking at this right now. One, he's homegrown. Two, he is very, very experienced. Three, it's like, okay, he is experienced. He's homegrown. Probably a great character. We're going to look at the other side. We look at it. There are two young goalkeepers. We were on the show yesterday speaking about what we do about the youth roadblocks. Halfway, well, there is a roadblock.
Um,
Something's
Brian, I
happened
think
to
your
your
audio
mic,
is.
Brian.
Something's gone wrong with your mic, mate.
Is that better?
Yes,
Yes.
it's
Yes.
muffled.
Bloody
We don't want to
technology.
muffle Brian in the morning.
Bloody technology, especially when I'm about to talk especially when I'm
Levy.
about to speak about Levy. So well done, Ash. Thank you. So yeah, in some ways it's very, very good. In some ways it's really, really good. And then you have to look at
It's gone again.
it's got to. Oh, you're
Now
joking.
you're back.
now
Now
it's
you're
come
back.
back.
Now you're back.
Come
Right,
back.
let me just smack the shit out of the microphone. There we go. Is that better?
Yeah,
Please tell me you can hear me.
Yeah.
we can hear you.
Okay, modern technology. Let me just check the back of my computer here. Yeah, we should all be good now. You hear me clearly?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to do this
That is
just so you can
clear.
hear me even clearer. So you then look at it. Has this been done on the cheap? Yeah, it could be said. It could be said. But what I will say is signing the goalkeeper in January would have been expensive. And now that there's not money going to be spent on a goalkeeper, we can literally, or we should, and I'm going to use that word very, very loosely, should be able to use that money that may have gone on a goalkeeper to address key areas. And there's no excuses now because I'm making sure, as others are, we said we wanted players in early. We'll see if we get them in early. We need a defender. We'll see if we get a defender. And now it comes down to how we tackle January. But Ellie, I'm going to come to you first.
Yeah.
How screwed are we if Vicario picks up an injury or a suspension?
We'll be in the doghouse because, in my opinion, all three goalies that we've got, Alfie Whiteman is not physically up to it. I've seen how small he is for a goalie. He's athletic, but he's just not big enough. Then we've got Brandon Austin, who's not even made a first team appearance, I don't think, to my knowledge. And then Forster, who I don't rate at all. It's just a personal. I don't think he's that good. So if Vicario goes down, we're already a bit depleted with injuries already. If Vicario goes down as well, we've only got Forster to rely on. I can only see us losing more matches, to tell you the truth, because he's not an awful goalie, but he's not a good goalie. And he's older as well. He's 35 now. His reflexes aren't as good as when he was younger, when he was a lot better. So yeah, I just feel it's. You know what you said about it's going to be expensive, but the goalkeeper position is so vital. If he does go down, I worry. I worry for us.
Okay. Ash, if Fraser's just got a new contract, do you see Hugh go out in January?
Yeah, I think. I mean, we always knew Hugo was going to leave. It's just a quick. I think his contract ends in the summer. So if it's just a matter of finding him a club that he's happy going to, and so I see that happening in January because they must have been working at it behind the scenes for the last 3 months, and if they weren't, then why weren't they? Um, I, I, I do think it'd be nice if Ange brought him on for 5 minutes in the one of these January games, just to say bye to Hugo because he was our club captain and he's been here for 11 years or more. I'm not sure. So I do think Hugo will leave. Another thing I just wanted to say is the two other goalkeepers we have are not young. Brandon Austin is 24 now. Alfie Whiteman is what, 25, I think. So it's not that they've had enough time now to show what they're about. And if they're not knocking on the first team's door, that means that either we send them somewhere else to improve their skills or we wash our hands off them. at this point, I don't think it makes sense to have two 24, 25-year-old goalkeepers hanging about if we've also signed Forster. And we don't need five goalkeepers.
Yep. Listen, I saw Who's News, Jose.
Yeah.
When it comes to this, Who's News says, I've heard enough, and keepers never get injured and never get sent off. Hugo Lloris got injured last season for a while, and Fraser Forster did come in. So they do get Who's News. They do get suspended. Very, very. It's very, very rare that they get suspended, and very, very rare they get sent off. Sorry, and injured. But Jose, what do you think with Hugo? Is he gone in January?
It's all gone quiet, hasn't it? It really has gone quiet. We've not heard any rumours, any stories, or anything at all about Hugo Lloris. There was all talk in the summer, but since then it's all gone quiet. Now it's difficult to say because, according to Vicario, Lloris has been a massive help to him in the background, and has sort of like become part of the coaching team and helped out. To settle him in, and he says that he's taken lots from Lloris. So Lloris has been involved, although he's not our club captain anymore, although he's not in the team and he's not in the squad for match days and that. In the background, he's been doing a lot of work with the keepers and helping out. So, but everything's gone quiet. So I'd like to say, I agree with Ash. It'd be nice to see him and give him a wave and that, because of the amount of time, the length he's been at the club. But it's all gone quiet. I couldn't tell you. It's like Mystic Mick. I couldn't tell you whether he's going in January or whether they're just going to leave him to go till the summer. It's just really, really gone quiet. I'd like to think that if he's serious about pursuing his career and wanting to be a professional footballer, that he would want to leave to go and join someone. But the fact that it's all gone really quiet, I wouldn't be surprised if he did go at the end of the season and he actually retired rather than played on.
Okay, we're going to quickly go around, then we're going to change to the West Ham build-up. And Ellie, I'll go to you first. Ash said about giving him minutes. Hugo, this is to say goodbye.
Yeah.
Can you trust you? And this is serious. If we're winning 1-0 or 2-1 or we're drawing, could you say you have confidence if Hugo Lloris comes on for 5 minutes right now to keep the result as it is? And the only reason I say that, listen, I love Hugo. But we saw at the end of last season, his distribution is shocking. His shot stopping, which he was absolutely world class at, started going downhill. Surely you'd need to be like 3-4 up before you think about bringing him on.
I agree. It will be nice. I agree with Ash to give him a little send off, because we're notoriously bad at doing that at the club. Look at Kane. Never got to say goodbye. So many other players who just left and no bye-bye. So I think it'll have to be a big score, I think, because I think if he comes on and say we're 2-1 up or 1-0 up and he does a gaff, it's going to leave a bad mark. And you know what? He gave us such fantastic service. It was only the last couple of years he started to decline. And especially in the last year, he was making quite a lot of errors. So it'd be lovely, but we're not that sort of club, are we, to do it?
No,
I can't see it happening, to tell you the truth.
Didn't do it for Jan Vertonghen. I mean, I could do a list.
So many, Brian, so many, and it's disgraceful that they've done that to the players who've given them so much service. If the player had given 1 or 2 years service, fair enough. But where you've given 10 years of your life to a club or more, then you should really honour that player, regardless of the Newcastle thing.
I'm so happy you said that, Ellie. I'm so happy you said that word. It's like you and me are on the same sheet there, but not with the. I am completely 100% totally and utterly with Colin here. After what happened at Newcastle, nope, you're done. You're done. If it's last game of the season and you're still here in May and we know where we're finishing, come on for a couple of minutes. Have a goodbye. Until then, nope, Nope. You may be doing very good as a coach. You may do well for Spurs in the future as a full-time coach, but no. When that humiliation happened, and you need your captain to stand up, he didn't. I mean, Ash, would you play him if you were 5 minutes up? Let's just say he's leaving at the end of January. We're 1-0 up against whoever our last game is, or 2-1 or 1-1, whatever the score, and it's still in the balance. Do you say, yeah, Hugo, go on for 10 years, have a few minutes, or are you like, nah?
No, I would have to be comfortable, I think, if to bring him on. I don't think I would risk a one goal lead or some such to play. Or if the match is, even if it's a two-goal lead but the match is end to end, I probably wouldn't bring him on. Only if we were. I think we're playing fairly easy teams in Jan. So if we say maybe in the FA Cup against Burnley, if we're winning 4-0 at the end, and if you want to bring Hugo on for 5 minutes, I think that's the only way I'd see it happening. I also think, I mean, I was angry at him for the Newcastle thing as well, and the last 2-3 years have been bad for him. The drinking and driving charge, and then this. It was just, it was all sort of snowballing, and I was just like, somebody needs to get Hugo some therapy. But I mean, I don't want to cancel out all those years of service, because I used to love Hugo. He was our captain, and he was like, until we saw the documentary, none of us realized how great a captain he was in terms of his halftime talks, etc. So I feel like we should give him some credit for that. Yeah, the Newcastle thing was horrible, and I still don't forgive him for it. But it'd be nice to cordially send him away, even if we had our issues with each other.
Well, you know what? I remember, Jose, I'll come to you, then we're going to go to West Ham. I remember when Jermaine Defoe left Tottenham and he came to a certain city called Toronto, which who knew all those years later would be home for me. He didn't get a goodbye game. He got a goodbye interview in a European game. Surely, if he leaves, should it be him that goes? Jose, wouldn't you rather just give him a half-time interview?
At the end of the day, who makes these decisions? I don't think Levy makes these decisions. It'd be the managers that have been at the club that make them decisions.
Of course.
So at the end of the day, it's whatever Ange sees, and Ange don't mess about. If Ange thinks it's right, Ange will do it. If Ange doesn't think it's right, then he's not going to do it. Ange is his own person. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, I just think it's a sad decline for him, to be honest, because he had a chance, or he had a couple of mooted moves back in the summer. It's all gone very, very quiet now. I now look at his age and I think to myself, who is going to want to bring in Lloris as their number one to their club? And I think there's very, very few teams. Unless you smack desperation, you're not going to bring him in as your number one anymore at any of the top 5 leagues anyway. You might bring him as a number 2. You might bring him in to do a bit of the coaching side and a bit to pep up your players and all that. But I think his career is actually, to me, I think his career's finished. He's not played for that long. He's got to that age now that I think that, in all likelihood, I'll possibly see him retiring. But yeah, at the end of the day, Ange is Ange. And if Ange feels, no, not going to do that, then Ange won't do it. And then, again, it could be one of these, with all the media you've got now, we've got Spurs play and all stuff like that. It could be that they might do the interview on one of them, and he packs his bags and he goes.
There you go. Maybe, who knows, there'll be a Spurs play documentary for him. But before we change to West Ham, there's a certain person in the building. Big up Swifty. I think that is probably the biggest lie ever told in the whole of Tottenham YouTube. Good morning to everyone. Good morning, Paddy. Good to see you here, buddy. So all good. Yeah, no, you're right. You're completely right with that. But when it comes to this now, we move to tonight, and we're playing, as I call, one of the unholy trilogy. We've got the people who like to blow bubbles. We know what they're coming to do. We know the atmosphere is to be electric. We know they're going to bang on non-stop about winning the Conference League as if it was the Champions League. Ash, how do you see this tonight?
I hate this game. I hate this game from the bottom of my heart. And in some ways, at least for the North London derby or something, I'm excited. I'm not excited for this game. I just want it to be over. West Ham is like, West Ham's like a mosquito. You think it's annoying, and you just want to get rid of it, but occasionally it gives you malaria. That's what West Ham is like. Like it's just West Ham's terrible. I just hate them. Like even when we're 3-0 up with Jose, uh, West Ham in the last 10 minutes somehow manages to score 3 goals, and it becomes one of those Spursy matches, and you just can't believe it. So I hate this team. And I saw the match against Crystal Palace. It was the most boring match of football ever, and I cannot believe that this is the team that will come to, to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, uh, and the same team will be like prime, like amazing. They will be like it's what their cup final. They have to win it. I hate this team.
Ash, I have to say, for the rest of my life, I've called West Ham many a thing. I have referenced them to many other things, but never have I thought of this is
Malaria.
now something over. This is, I think you started something. I think you might see this. Fucking brilliant. Ellie, Ellie, how do you feel about
I love
malaria?
it. Well done, Ash. It's like your annoying little brother or sister in your ear. You're playing with your toys, and the little brother or the little sister comes over and nicks them and thinks they're the bee's knees. Because they've never been the bee's knees. Right, and now they've won the Conference League. We're going to get champions of Europe. We know who we are. That song's coming out.
Of course it is.
Yeah. So I've got a ticket for the match. Whether I go is another question, right? Because it's freezing cold. But I think I have to go because West Ham are like a thorn in your side. They're always there giving us jib about what? What have you done in football, West Ham? You say you won the World Cup. That's your claim to fame, right? They're just one of those teams that you just don't want to play, and they always come back sometimes. Like when like Ash said about that 3-0 up, and then they come back 3-3. But we have had good results against them, right? And I'm confident going into this match after that Man City second half performance. I think there was a twist in mentality in that game, yeah. And we've got Romero back as well, so I think we're gonna just about pip it. I actually said 3-0 in one thing when I've revised that to 2-1 now because I just don't think we're going to win 3-0. I think 2-1 is more realistic, and it's going to be a good game. Just put it that way, because West Ham will come with their A game. That's one thing for sure. So I'm just hoping for a very exciting game and where we come out on top. There you go.
Yeah, I never. I'm like Ash here. I never ever use the word excited for West Ham. It's dread. It's fear. I mean, Jose, how do you see tonight?
The way that we started against Villa last week, and we were at home, we had the crowd behind us, and we were at home. And to me, this is a bigger game because of the rivalry than the Villa game was. If we start and we play the first half, and I've got no reason to doubt that we will start like that because we start like a house on fire at home, and we take our chances. And if we play the first half like we did against Villa, and we play our second half like we did against Man City, then I think we batter them tonight. I look at the lineups, I look at the setups, and I think that our setup, I think West Ham are tailor made for our setup. I think we beat their press. I think we attack them. I don't think defensively they're that sound. I've got nothing but hopes, high hopes, of a big victory tonight, the biggest one of the season.
Yep. I mean, let's have a look. I can see a couple of talking points which we will talk about. But Ash, first of all, today marks a very special day. It's the return of Cuti Romero at long goddamn last. How big is he, and who are you playing next to him tonight? You're on mute, Ash.
His return is so important, especially if you think about, say, the Brentford game where he went off with a concussion. We were terrible on set pieces after, and that's how West Ham. I can see that ball hitting Souček's head. So I just we need him to be fit and firing. We just don't need him to be like present. We need him to be on his A game immediately. And I would play Davies next to him. I think it just makes more sense. He's left-sided. So, yeah.
Ellie, Cuti Romero.
What a player! What a player! I see people like giving him stick about his red cards, but all the top defenders, they've been sent off. You've got Ramos, you've got Casemiro, you've got so many. John Terry back in the day saw loads of red cards. So I don't want him to take that aggression out of his game, and I want to, like Ash said, I want to come in with his A game. His pressing is immense. His passing and bringing out of the ball is vital to our team, because we need that link up from defence into midfield. And he often drifts into the penalty area as well. You think, where's Cuti? Where's Cuti? Where is he? He's in the box. So, yeah, I love him. I think he's a blood and thunder player. He plays with his heart on his sleeve. And he's an old school defender playing in a modern game. And I've seen people say that he should keep it into the modern game rather than be old school. But the great Graham Roberts, if you said that to him, he'd knock you out. And I would say the same about Romero. I just think he's a fabulous player, and he's vital to our defence. Not just because of his defending, he actually controls the back line. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he's going to do. It's always interesting when you're watching Romero, isn't it? There's never a dull game.
I've just realised, let's have the ladies on top. Let's have the ladies at the top. So mine and Jose's screen gets covered.
I've heard that saying before.
This isn't that kind of show. I mean, first of all, Colin, I do believe Bowen is injured. I do believe it. Jose, I'm going to ask you about Romero, and then I'm going to talk something very quickly because Carl Simpson has put some breaking news in for Tottenham. But Romero, and who are you playing next to him?
I think with everything that's been going on and the word that's coming out from Ange, I think it will be it'll be Davis again. I don't think it'll be Emerson. I think it will be Davis again. Although he was buoyant and he did speak highly of Alfie Dorrington yesterday. He did say that Dorrington is part of the first team squad now, and so is Jamie Donnelly. And he said that he believes that Dorrington will get chances this month, but I don't think the chance will come tonight.
There we go.
I think it will be Davis.
Now, I don't know, Ian, has this just happened? So before I go to breaking news, because I'm just checking Spurs, and apparently Cyril Knowles might have passed away. I don't know if this is legit. I'm checking Spurs right now. I really hope that's not true. I really, really hope that's not true, because that man is a living legend at the club. But very quick, I'm going to go back to the news that Cole put. Then we'll go back to West Ham. Tottenham have apparently rejected approach from Swansea for our assistant manager, Chris Davies. Listen, I don't want any. At no point do I want any of Ange's teams split up. Obviously, with him, with assistant managers, if the chances come up, it's down to them if they want to go. But right now, with Swansea, I think doing very, very, very poor in the Championship, and you're at Tottenham. I'm biased. I think we're all biased. I wouldn't leave for. I would not leave for Swansea. So let's hope that stays the way. But that's breaking news, and thank you, Cole, for bringing it. Right, we'll go back to you, Ash. There is a question here about today's game. And I spoke about this on We Are Tottenham TV a couple of days ago. Who plays on the left for you today?
If Richarlison is fit, Richarlison goes in, I think. Hill has shown us that he can't stand up to physical opposition. especially it was like you know, have you seen that video of Romero with his son where Romero's nutmegging his son? That's what Kyle Walker and Hill felt like. Where Kyle Walker. It's very it was like a boy playing in a man's game, and I feel like West Ham's a pretty hard physical team to play against. He'll get bullied off the ball. Maybe if it was Newcastle, we could have thought about it. They're also a hard physical team, but slightly less than West Ham. So I would say Richarlison comes straight in. My only question is if he hasn't played for like what 4 games, 5 games now. So his fitness, I don't know if he can, if he's fit enough to start or if we'd have to bring him off the bench. But if he's fit, then he plays. I think. I'm
Ellie?
not a fan of Richarlison, by the way, but he plays over him.
Well, if that's what you say about Richarlison and you're not a fan, I can see exactly what you think of Brian Hill. So yes. Ellie,
Yeah.
who are you starting on the left?
I'm split on this one because, like Brian Hill, I think he gets a little bit of a bad rap. He's a player of moment. He doesn't dominate games, right? And every time he's had his chance, he's lightweight and he does get knocked off the ball too easy. And in this game, I'm with Ash because we need a bit of shithousery and we need more experienced Premiership player than Richarlison. And he'll give it to West Ham. He won't take no prisoners, right? And I just think he can offer a little bit more physically, especially when we're peppering in crosses and at set pieces for them to have Richarlison defending because he's so good with his head. We've seen it. He scores with his head, doesn't he? Richarlison, he scores with his head. That's the song, right? So I feel he deserves a place because Brian Hill hasn't impressed me apart from that little pirouette where he set up Kulu to do that brilliant pass to Sonny. Otherwise, every time I've seen him, he's been knocked off the ball so many times, Brian, and we can't risk that. Can't risk losing the ball.
Yep. Before I come to you with this, Jose, I was just thinking when Ash spoke, I wonder if a certain person is in the building because his head's going to be exploding. Then you started speaking about Richarlison. I was like, I've got to mention it because I think he will be exploding. I didn't know if he was in here, but Richarlison's number one fan is in the building, Mr. Craig Sullivan. If you follow this man on Twitter, 2 days ago we were in a conversation that he tagged me in or whatever to do some recording or whatever I was doing. I came back to my phone to 96 notifications. Over 78 of them were pigeon gifts where he'd started a chain back and forth. This man is obsessed with him. And Ryan, I've got to say, my brother, and I've told him about this before, it's very good saying that, and it's very good posting that, but what is the breaking news? I can't talk about it unless you tell me or send me a message with what it is. But good morning to you, brother. But Jose, Richarlison.
Right, I think it's a 50-50 for me because listening to Ange in the presser, he says that Richarlison is nowhere near match fitness. That's what he said yesterday in the presser. However, we know that West Ham like to attack from 6 set pieces, and obviously Hill is 5'0" and Richarlison's 6'2". So you'd like to think that for set pieces and that Richarlison would be more effective, both in defence and in attack for us, than what Brian Hill would be. I just don't think he's match fit to start the game. I don't think he lasts 45 minutes if he starts. So I think it won't be Richarlison that starts. However, there could be a bit of jiggery pokery done tonight because with players coming back, he's got options to play in the middle and to play on the left-hand side. So, I mean, I could see in one instance him playing the same lineup at the start of the last game where Hill is on the left. I could also see him putting Kulu back on the right, even though I don't want him to, putting Brennan Johnson on the left, bringing Højbjerg into the middle. And then you've also got the nagging, I don't know whether he'll get a start, but I've got this nagging feeling that Jamie Donnelly's going to get more minutes as this month carries on. So I think the odds for me are that he starts Hill, that he starts the same side that he started last week.
Okay, so I'm going to chuck another one in there. I said this, and I'm not saying this is the option I want, but can any of you see it where it's a midfield, a Højbjerg, Bissouma, Kulu, Johnson back on the right where he needs to be, and like he does for Argentina, Gio Lo Celso on the left? Or do you think Gio, the way he's playing right now, has to stay central? Ash, I'll go to you first.
I think we shouldn't ruin a good thing. We know what works. We know that Geo in the center works. Geo on the left is an unknown quantity, at least for us.
Yep.
So I feel like when someone scored 2 goals in 2 games, you should just let him play the position he's at. I also think that if we're doing rotation, since we're playing every 3 days now, 3-4 days, that Højbjerg should actually come in for the Newcastle game, because I feel like that might be more end to end, whereas this will be like West Ham on the counter. So I do think that it'll be sort of like the second half against City, where Højbjerg would actually fit well into the midfield as a double pivot against Newcastle. So I would play Gio, Kulu, and Bissouma as the midfield in this game, and then and then play Højbjerg in the next game, and whoever's on the bench comes in as a substitute.
Okay, so like Beetlejuice, if you say Levy's name 3 times, I appear on streams. If you mention Pierre-Emile Højbjerg a few times, no matter where or what time zone, someone appears. Ellie, do you see Mr. Højbjerg? Do you see Mr. Højbjerg playing today from the start?
I can't see him starting, just purely for the fact that the 3 in the middle, apart from Bissouma against Man City, he dropped off, didn't he? So, but I think it'll dent his confidence if he drops him to the bench. I think he'll give him another tryout, and if it's not working again, we will see my man Højbjerg coming on. But I'm going to throw another curveball in there. I've always thought, right, that Porro, right, is better as a right winger, and he's got so much pace. I'd love to see him on that right wing, right? And then the problem with that is we've got to play Emerson at right back, and he does a competent job, Emerson, right? So, and then you've got the problem on the left side. That's the problem, because we haven't got anybody else but Davis. But I just feel Højbjerg won't start. But Lo Celso on the left is an interesting one there, Brian. You've thrown a really good curveball there, because he plays that position so well for Argentina. He knows the role. So it's not as if he's going into the role and he's a virgin at it, if you will. Right? I had to bring that word in. So that could work, it could work. Because Brennan Johnson on the right, because he's a right footer. And like when we saw him on the right, he actually skinned Garvadal, didn't he, against Man City? He left him for dead. Right? So, yeah, I think that could work. It's an interesting one.
There you go. And Jose, before I come to you with the question, we're going to change the position. Ian, I thought he had died. Thank God he died in 1991. So he's been RIP for a while. I don't know why. I forgot that Cyril Knowles
I
had
googled
passed.
it and I was so confused. I thought, is there another Cyril Knowles that I don't know?
I was just realising how old he must have been if he was still alive now. So my bad. Jose, I'm going to speak to you about something, because obviously if you mention Levy, I appear. If you mention Højbjerg, Eddie appears. And there is someone, he doesn't appear, but he's always in the chat. And he is my number one guy when it comes to Brennan Johnson, always will be. He has been very impressive the last few games. Do you think, under the lights, he did well in the North London derby? This is the first big London derby at home this season. I think we've only had Fulham, haven't we? Yeah, it's only been Fulham that have come from. Have been. Oh no, the Brentford's away. So, do you see Brennan Johnson carrying on his form?
Brennan Johnson's a funny one because I saw Brennan Johnson at Forest, and when I saw him at Forest, he'd attack, and he had pace to burn for fun. I think since he's got his injury, I think he's making his way back to being 100% match fit, and the more game time he's getting, the better he looks for us.
Oh, shit.
So I've got no reason to think that he's not going to look better tonight than what he did in the past few games. As I said this earlier, I think that the setups and styles make matches, and I think the setup tonight for us that we've seen so far, and the setup that West Ham come with, I think West Ham are tailor-made for us tonight. Unless Moyes tweaks it, I think West Ham are set up for us for tonight. Unless he tweaks it, and therefore we're going to need. If you've got the pace of Johnson and the pace of Sonny, and if you had a third person with pure pace as well, you'd get past the West Ham defenders quite comfortably because they're quite slouchy. They ain't got the quickest back four. And as for what you said, sorry, I'm going to jump to what you said about Lo Celso. Why spoil a good thing? Lo Celso may play on the left for Argentina, but yeah, he's played really well for us in the middle. I wouldn't change that. That recipe is there. It's been made. I wouldn't change it. I'd only change it in game management if it wasn't working and Ainge could see that he had to tweak it. A bit like he did when he bought Højbjerg and took Hill off at the weekend.
Yeah.
He sees something in game and he has to do a tweak. So, but otherwise, yeah, but Lo Celso stand in the middle. But yeah, Johnson, I'm looking forward to him. And as I said, I think that styles make matches, and I think that they're tailor-made for us for tonight.
All right, we're going to quickly go with the last 10 minutes. We're going to talk about a huge but a huge issue and a team that are going from strength to strength. But this goes to show the dedication of this man when it comes to Richarlison. He's going to be homeless. He might be in a cardboard box. Craig, if you lose your house, you've always got a room here in Toronto, brother, to just jump on a plane. Ash, what's your prediction for tonight's score?
I think it'll be 2-1. I think finally we'll get a penalty that Sonny will score. I keep saying this every game. Eventually it'll come true. And I think Kulu will get the other goal. And on their side, Souček will score a header, 2-1.
Okay, that is very precise. That is very, very, very precise. Ellie, what about you?
Yeah, I did predict 3-0. It's either going to be 3-0 or 2-1. There you go. But I think Johnson will get his first goal today, and I think Gio will score again because, you know, like he likes to have a shot, old Gio. He does. So I think he's going to score. So I think it's going to be 2-1. It's going to be a hard-fought game. They're going to give us a match. Just bet your house on that. I think
Craig's already got his house up. Craig's already got the Richarlison bet for his house, so don't make him put another bet on his house in. Unless he's got two houses, who knows? But
But I just think it's going to be a hard-fought game. I think their pace at the back, we can exploit that because, like Jose said, they're not the quickest. I think Zuma's got a bit of pace there, but he's a big lad. We can get past him as well. But their defence, if it's Kufal and Souček, he sometimes plays in defence, but sometimes he joins the midfield as well. I just think we've got too much for them in every area of the pitch, and it will show. So, come on, you Spurs, get that victory. And
I have to say, before I come to you, Jose, for the score, Philly, big up my brother. Ash, you are getting a lot of love in this community. And as I said yesterday on Friday, it's brilliant when you can actually put a face to the name, because we see all these people in the comments and we can walk past them and not have a clue who they are. And you will be coming on this channel as often as you want. You're incredible at this. Ash, not Ash. Jose, what's your score prediction?
Right, like I said, under the lights, we start well, which we tend to. We can finish our chances. If we play like we did against Villa first half, Man City second half, we come away winning 4-0 tonight.
4-0.
Yeah, 4-0. I reckon we'll take chances tonight. I think we've had it in between games, but tonight, I think what I'm trying to see, or what I'm seeing is that we've had players out injured, and we've had players come in, and the players that have come in have probably picked up the philosophy quicker than the players that were playing before, and look more adapt and more at home to the Ange's philosophy than the players that went out pre the injury times. So, as I said, I think they're tailor made for us, but I don't think they're set up. I think their setups will suit us. I mean, I look at their back four, and they can have a host of people playing. They've got Aaron Cresswell, or they've got that Emerson that can play left back. Johnson will rip them a new one, both of them. Their centre halves can be or will be Zuma, but then they can stick that Naif Agard in there, or Bonner, or Timo Kehrer. And the other three players, apart from Zuma, have all got mistakes in them and are not that quick. And Soufal at right back, yeah, he's a decent and no nonsense defender, but he's not quick. He's slow. I just think, and the Souček, oh yeah, I give you that he's got height and that, but he's not very quick either in the midfield. I just think that they're tailor made for us, and all we got to do is get the crowd. And Ellie knows because she goes to the games. Get the crowd behind the boys. And we start from minute one, from second one. I reckon we go 4-0. There, look, yeah, David, you're on it.
Yes.
4-0.
I think that's David from Los Angeles, and if it is David, thank you, brother. I hope you're good and well. One thing I will say, and I'm surprised no one said anything with this, is we're talking West Ham, and we're talking score predictions. This man has got it bang on. Svarog is bang on. Not one person, including me, has mentioned this man. You can say whatever you want. We can beat them. We can do this. We can do that. If they get a free kick anywhere near the danger zone, we're in big, big trouble. Because you can say with him, it's like Beckham. It's like having a penalty. And his delivery is outstanding. I'm going 3-1. I am going James Ward-Prowse free kick. And Brennan Johnson's going to get 2 goals tonight. Brennan is getting 2 goals tonight. I think his pace is going to scare the death out of him. But talking of scaring the death, you see what I'm doing here? I can blend in now. I'm getting like a newsreader here. I put a tweet out yesterday after Villa beat Man City. And I said, you know what? It's time we address this. Aston Villa are a huge problem for us. A huge, not just us, anyone in the Premier League. And I was like, I think it's now 14 wins on the bounce in the Premier League at home. They're going from strength to strength. They just, even their away form is starting to pick up. People said their away form's been shit. Well, they beat us. The responses were so one way or the other. It was either, yeah, at the moment they're flying, it's a real problem. And then there's other fans that go, oh, they haven't had the same injuries as us. Oh, no, don't worry. January, we're going to smash them in the window. I don't understand what we have sections of people that will just tunnel vision. Yeah, Spurs are better. Oh, if they had the same injuries as us, they'll be this way. And I was like, yes, but they haven't got the same injuries as us. They go, yeah, but. And they're like, when ours come back, we'll be better. I'm like, this isn't top trumps. This is a team game. Aston Villa have got a manager that is doing. Listen, Arsenal, I don't know what happened with him there because he did well in Spain. He is flying at Villa. They got a chairman that will back them. I mean, we'll see what we do in January. I know what I think we'll do, but who knows? Ash, how worried are you about Aston Villa?
Yeah, I think Villa are amazing. I think they're top 4 contenders this year. I mean, we're just saying a lot for Villa, but I really think it's possible. And I rate Unai Emery so highly. I'm just hoping that, because they're in Europe, that he'll sort of, put his attention on the European Cup because that's something Villa can win. And I'm hoping that hurts their league form just a little bit. But it's at this point, it's just hope because they're just they're going from strength to strength. They're looking really good. They're looking like a dangerous team, and their forwards, they're excellent forwards.
Yeah.
So I really think that Villa. I really hope they don't have a good January transfer window because if Newcastle, the injuries will end at some point and they'll all come back, and Villa will also uh, like buy lots of people. That makes that top four race much harder because there are so many teams now who are good enough to get into it.
Yep, you're bang on. Ellie, what's your feelings on Villa?
Yeah, I like the way they play. I think they're very exciting team to watch, and they play with a purpose, and they've got solidity at the back with Pau Torres. I saw him do a fantastic shot yesterday as well. Yeah, they're all round excellent in each department, and up front, that's where they've got their duties, like DRB. Then you've got Leon Bailey, who never always plays, but when he has come on, he's made a big difference. And then you've got Ollie Watkins, who's scoring for fun. So yeah, they're a big threat. They're a big threat for the title as well, I would say, because Unai Emery knows how to get it over the line, and he has won. I don't know, like you said, what happened at Arsenal. He fell out of favour, but it's Arsenal's loss because this guy is the real deal, and he drills his team really well tactically as well. His tactics are spot on for this modern game, and yeah, I think they will stay up there. They nicked us to the Conference League position, and they could very well nick us to that fourth position as well. But I think their ambitions are higher. Myself personally, I think Unai Emery is going for that league title, and if he does win it and he pips Arsenal, that would be fantastic.
Well, they've got
I'd
Arsenal
rather us
next.
pick them,
They've got
but
Arsenal
we're 5
next.
points behind them now. We're playing catch up. Right, if we win today and we stay within 6 points, we've still got an outside chance of even pushing up further. But yeah, Aston Villa are a very, very major threat.
I have to say, before I come to you finally, Jose, big up Mr. K, brother. We've got to get you back on the channel. We will speak this week, brother. I hope you're good. Hope you're well. Listen, who's news? Aston Villa, I don't think stand a chance of winning the title. They're certainly challenging. They're certainly at the moment, at current time, and if they have a good January, it could be an issue. And there's a comment here from Jose to wrap up. So from Carl Simpson, this top four, I think Manchester United and Chelsea are going to keep being very, very erratic. We'll see what we do. I think you can quite easily say 3 of the top 4 are City, the Filth, and Liverpool. It looks like it's going to be Spurs, Newcastle, Villa, maybe United or Chelsea in the top 4. It's becoming a bigger competition for that 4th spot, isn't it?
I think it's a big competition all round, to be honest with you, because I said that this year I thought the Premiership would be tight. Everyone's barometer is Manchester City. Manchester City now six points behind the Gooners, and sit, I think, 2 behind Villa and 4 behind Liverpool. We win tonight, we go on the same points, although their goal difference is better, which means that we're within 6 points of the top. I'm going to put a bit of a dampener on what you guys have said about Villa, and my dampener is last season, and a bit longer, even in January, we were talking about how good Brighton were and they'll challenge for the top 4. We were talking about Brentford. We were talking about Fulham. These are the teams that were up there this time last season.
Yeah, Villa's a different kettle of fish, buddy.
Nah,
you can't say Fulham.
Well, but Brighton were doing what Villa are doing at the moment last season, and apart from not playing in Europe, to me, Villa are doing really well at the moment, and there are a number of clubs that are doing well at the moment. But the thing is that, like anything, things even themselves out over the season. Villa have still got to play in Europe as well, and so they've got to tackle that. They've tackled it so far. They've done all right. They've still got to tackle that in the new year. And let's not hide from this, right? There are some teams that have been affected drastically, right, by the injuries and suspensions that they've got. And there's a few teams in the league. It's not just us. There's a few teams in the league. If it evens itself out over the season and some people get the same, it'd be interesting to see what happens to them. But for the time being, yeah, they are flying. But it's over a season, not over the first 3 months.
No, that's a good point, but we can only go on by what we've gone on. But right, we're going to wrap up the show there. First of all, thank you to my wonderful guests. What I think one of the best debuts, if not the best debut ever made on this channel. by the lady in the top right there. Ash, where can people find you?
Honestly, at this point, just in the chat and on Twitter, I suppose. But yeah, yeah. Honestly, I'm not very active on Twitter. I don't get much time, and my students follow me, so I try not to post anything.
Yeah, I get that. Put it this
So
way, Ash, if I had students, my tweets would not go down well. That's for damn sure. But Ash, it was wicked having you on. I'd love to get you on as often as you want to come on, Hans. It was brilliant to have you on here. Ellie, the Queen, where can people find you?
Oh, they find me at Just a Girl Loves Spurs with the lovely Kate and the lovely Jimbo. So I'm sort of assigned to that channel now, and I love it there. It's fantastic. And then we've got a new show called To Dare Is to Debate. We're on our fourth one where we had Colin and Jose sitting to your left. Yeah. But you know what? I want to see Ash Unleashed on Twitter. And forget about the students. That would be some writing, because she's fantastic in the chat anyway.
She's brilliant.
If she could speak her mind on Twitter as well, yeah. But yeah, like I'll go wherever anybody invites me. Really, like yesterday, Josh Sharabi, the young boy, he invited me on his show to preview West Ham, and I just love it. I just love Spurs banter. So wherever I can, and also wherever I can defend Højbjerg. I was doing it on Shawnee's show last night because Adam was giving him hell. Right, so yeah, wherever Højbjerg is, I'm there.
And finally, before actually, KPV, wish you better, brother. I've seen your message saying you're not well. Wish you better, mate. Hopefully Spurs can give you the best tonic. Jose, where can people find you?
Yeah, I can be found at Talk and Ball. I co-host with Colin. We usually go at 4:00 European time or GMT time here in England. Although tomorrow I think we might go at 5, but today it'll be 4:00 if Colin's feeling better. Got my own channel, LTL Cockerel, but what we do is we dual stream. So we dual stream Talk and Ball and El Cockerel at the same time. We love having guests on as well. Ash, you're more than welcome to come on to our show as well. I've had Queen Ellie comes on quite regularly. We've had Brian on before as well.
Yep.
We invite everybody on because the show for us is about the people. So, but yeah, that's where we can be found. We're right in the middle of we're right towards the tail end of predictions. Just going to say, Brian, there's been no Desmonds this week so far, mate.
Let's just hope we don't get one tonight.
Yeah, and then the predictions will finish tonight, and so tomorrow's show will be all about the predictions, some updates, and then the predictions for the weekend. So yeah, if you want to come and join us, love to see you all there.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, what can I tell you? Tottenham on tour at 11 o'clock UK time, 6 o'clock back here. So in 55 minutes, day 7 of the Advent calendar will be released. Talking about 5 players that wore the number 7, and I think we can I think you know who the last player will be, a certain iconic number 7 skipper right now. Tomorrow will be the return of Anger Management with me and Johnny. Hopefully the positive ones will continue after the 3 back-to-backs were hard work. We did not enjoy them. Hopefully we will keep up the positive. Until he's gone, Edward, until he's gone, he will be. And until the day he's gone, my life becomes a much better place. So, guys, thank you for all your support. We will see you on the Advent calendar. We will see you on Anger Management tomorrow. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And as always, Levy out.
Come on.